friends. Harish Dua is the head of internal audit at the JSW Group, and we're going to have a little chat in terms of how the internal audit function has evolved at JSW, and Harish's thoughts on how it will probably evolve from here on. Uh, so thank you for joining us, Harish, and your thoughts in terms of how has the internal audit function of the future look like to you?
See, internal audit function of future will be different from whatever we are doing today. Now, the problem with internal audit is that because of audit committee regulations, compliances, and other thing, there's some traditional role of providing assurance. That particular role we cannot leave. On the other hand, there's a management which wants you to become a trusted advisor, to do a value addition services to them, and that is an additional burden on us. Now, the function will look like that is that we need to segregate the areas which are repetitive in the nature, which can be definitely automated or which can be outsourced. So the in-house internal audit function will be divided into the two parts. I will say one part will be that for doing automation of all those assurance activities. Most of the assurance activities are repetitive in the nature. Just to give you example that earlier we used to check on quarterly basis the compliances.
Right.
So instead of that, what we did that we have put an automated tool on the compliances.
Right.
Where all the compliances are getting monitored, and there's a dashboard comes from the software.
Sure.
And which goes to the each and every stakeholder there.
Sure.
So this type of things we have done that. Similarly, for example, we used to check about the bill passing controls and other thing. Lot of those controls we automated.
Okay.
So that saves us a time, and now that particular time we have spent on learning about the business areas, and now we are providing a lot of consultancy in I said advisory service to the management.
Right. So if that is the expectation of the audit function, and that's where you see that going, how do you see the internal auditor evolve as well, right? Because some of the skill sets will also need to change.
Yes.
I can tell you from our side, at Deloitte, we're having to do a lot of technical training to our people in terms of analytics, in terms of RPA, in terms of using advanced analytics.
Yes.
How does that work for you?
Similar thing, skills are required for our function also, whether it's a consulting firm or it's a in-house internal audit department. So we are training our people in very IT initiatives, whether it's RPA boards, whether it's a continuous monitoring tools. So that is one part of the things. The difficult part of thing is another part. When you started giving the advisory services, you need to know about the business. So learning the business, learning various functions, then learning about communication, how to communicate to the top management, how to communicate to the board, and pursuing that with the diplomacy and with the proper, I will say, follow-up.
Right.
So these are the new skills which are required. That will take some time to learn. So that is a transition phase, I will say that will happen.
Okay. And so how do you intend to walk that transition phase? I mean, do you have some training in mind, or is it on-the-job training? You're going to get in some skills which are specific. How will you meet that need really?
So what we have done at JSW is that first we have merged risk management and internal audit function together. Now we are a manufacturing company, so there is no requirement from any regulator to have a different function for risk management and different function for the internal audit.
Right.
So earlier we had two different functions of risk management and internal audit. So what we did that we have merged these two things.
Right.
Because risk management function got merged with internal audit, we got a lot of insights to the business and the risk which businesses are facing. So that's the first thing which we done. Apart from that, we started participating in various business meetings,
Right.
which happens. So for example, my company is involved in taking over some companies going for inorganic growth.
Right.
So we are involved in due diligence.
Right.
We are involved in making visits, putting processes and systems in the place at the first go.
Right.
And benchmarking whatever our current company is there, what are practices of current company to the new company.
Sure.
So this is the way we started getting involved more and more in the business initiatives.
Right.
From there we get a lot of perspectives. We get to know about the strategy of the company. and then we will able to provide this advisory and consultancy services.
What role does InterAudit play in the overall ethics agenda? So, in terms of the whistleblowing complaints that you get, the other sort of impropriety allegations that you might get, what's the link that's there between what InterAudit does to all of that?
As of today, this ethics piece, whether it's a whistleblower complaints and whether there are very anonymous mails comes to us. So currently we are doing the fraud investigation, but going forward, what we thought is that we will be having a separate cell in a company to look into these type of things, because doing fraud investigation is different from doing the audit.
Right.
The skills required for doing fraud investigations are totally different from the internal audit. So we are going to have a separate cell within the company who would be looking into the whistleblower complaints, will be looking into the fraud investigation.
Right.
If they don't have skills in house, they will go outside, take the help of the good firms who have this knowledge base with them, and they will engage them to carry out the investigations.
Okay.
So this is the long-term plan.
Okay. Excellent. Ian, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Harish, it was a pleasure having you with us on The Good Company.
Thank you.